Tried to save a buck on it.
I got what I paid for. Not so smart.
Nah, you're still a genius, but
Albert Einstein, one of the world's greatest and most influential scientists of all times, had his brain stolen after he died. This German-born theoretical physicist gave us the law of the photoelectric effect and the theory of relativity. In fact, his contributions to physics gave us a more fundamental understanding of our universe. One question most people ask is, why was his brain stolen and who did the act? Continue watching and you will get the biggest shock of your life.
I agree.
Before Einstein died, he gave instructions concerning his remains. He didn't want to be worshipped nor his body parts be used for studies and researches. His specific instructions were to cremate his remains and scatter the ashes secretly. However, when he died in Princeton Hospital on April 18, 1955, Thomas Harvey, the pathologist who carried out an autopsy on him, stole his brains without permission from the family nor Einstein himself. When the theft came to light a few days later, Harvey obtained a rather reluctant approval for scientific investigations from Hans Albert, Einstein's son. Hans Albert gave a condition that all studies must be published in reputable scientific journals. Due to the theft, Harvey lost his job at the hospital and he moved to Philadelphia, where he carved the brain into 240 pieces and preserved them in 2 jars of celluloid and hid them in his basement. Celluloid is a rubbery but harder form of cellulose. When Harvey's wife threatened to dispose of the brain, he had no other choice but to retrieve it and took it with him to the Midwest. While he worked as a medical supervisor in a biological testing lab located in Wichita, Kansas, Harvey hid the jars of Einstein's brain in a cider box kept under a beer cooler. Harvey sent out some of the brain pieces to researchers around the world who were interested in carrying out scientific investigation on Einstein's brains. He lost his job again and moved to Missouri, where he continued to study the brain. After failing a medical competency exam, Harvey moved back to Kansas and worked on an assembly line till his death. Before his death, Harvey returned the remains of the dissected brain to Einstein's family, who donated it to Mutter Medical Museum in Philadelphia. Both parts of the brain are currently displayed in the Philadelphia Museum. What will happen to the brain in the future? Will the brain continue to be on display, or will it be returned to the family? Only time will tell.